morning, everyone. Jeff Fisher here, starting out our webinar here in just a minute, giving people a few more minutes to chime in here. If you have questions, please go ahead and ask away in the chat box, and I will answer them throughout the webinar. All right, sending a message over to my team to let them know we've started the webinar. So they'll check and make sure everything's recorded. So if you're on this webinar for the first time, we do record these webinars. We then take them and put them out on YouTube and a variety of other channels that are out there, so that if you have questions later, you can rewatch the video. And if in fact you want to talk to us, it's a good way to track us down as well. So welcome again to today's webinar. My name is Jeff Fisher. I'm the owner of Local Childcare Marketing. I'm a certified online marketer. Today we're going to talk about why every child care center needs a mobile website. Here we go. If you missed our initial internet marketing plan for the year, the 2017 internet marketing plan, which teaches you how to maximize your web presence and using the latest internet marketing strategies, please go to our website, localchildcaremarketing.com/2017-webinar-replay, 2017 webinar replay, and you'll be able to see that initial webinar. So what we do is we look at how do we dominate online, and there's quite a few things that we do online, and there's a few things that we do offline which help us dominate online. So number one, we're looking at the foundation of your website. Do you have strong copy? Has on-page SEO been performed? Are credible and reliable and relevant links being built back to your website from other credible and reliable and relevant websites? Are you out there on the directory listings, or depending on the industry, there's up to 250 directories. This is your brand, so your name, address, and phone number, and sometimes even your logo are out there. If you're wondering what a directory is, Yelp is a directory, for example. Care.com is a directory, things like that. Blogging, are you getting fresh new content up on the website every single month? And finally, reputation. Are you monitoring your reputation to make sure that, in fact, nobody's putting something up that you're not aware of? Are you engaging in social media? The next step, number two here. Are you posting on Facebook once a day? Are you posting at least 3 times a week on Google+, once a day on Twitter, a couple times on Pinterest every day? Social media advertising, Facebook and Instagram. Are you running ads? Take advantage of what exactly you can have on doing social media advertising, reaching out to your audience. Millennials are definitely on Facebook, so that's a good place to reach them. Then you got pay-per-click advertising, also known as Google AdWords, and that's another way to advertise, different than the first one, is all about marketing. Then we do retargeting, so I like to refer to these as the stalker ads. So when you go on Home Depot and you search for a new washing machine for the next 30 days, you'll see a washing machine showing up in a variety of places, reminding you that you, in fact, were interested at one point in time in buying a washing machine, and Home Depot is hoping that you were interested in buying it from them. Reputation marketing, now we take your reputation, we create videos, we send those videos out on a variety of channels to get your message out there as well. And then we talk about email marketing, paid directory ads, postcard marketing, and the referral program. So those are the not directly related to online marketing, but they are overall part of your web presence dominance method. Because are you emailing your current customers? Are you offering them a special every so often to reactivate them and get them to spend money? Do you have a way of getting cold leads, and then are you working to get those to brought into your center? So that gives you some idea of email marketing as well. But today, I need your attention, because what we're going to do is we're going to focus on mobile websites today. So please turn off your cell phone, turn off your Facebook, and if you're a child care center owner or director, and if you're serious about getting better results in 2017, please spend the next 50 minutes with me or so to help you get focused on doing what works for online marketing today. What we'll cover today: discover ways to get a mobile website, from dedicated mobile websites to integrated mobile websites. You'll learn how to get the mobile website for your center, learn why a mobile responsive website is essential, and an easy way for visitors to consume the information on your website. The secrets to mobile optimized website. Google now penalizes websites that are not optimized for mobile devices. Learn how to avoid these penalties, and proven examples of mobile advertising that you can swipe and deploy. History. So mobile websites and mobile phones really came about in the late 1990s when they got access to the internet. That was a big step. And then by 2007, Apple's iPhone was really the game changer for mobile, because now you could get on the internet, and Apple had integrated their Safari browser into this package that they offered. So that allowed us to do full-scale web pages the same way that we did for desktop users. Users got real mobile internet and not just some stripped down version of the web. So this was the first time, starting after 2007, and since then it's been really rolling out. But mobile's been changing every single year, every 2 years. And so what was acceptable 2 years ago is not necessarily acceptable today, and we'll talk about that as well. So Apple and other companies started to join the mobile revolution, giving consumers a new way to gather information. Today, they're the norm. Companies now have no choice but to be found where the market is. Over half the search traffic comes from mobile devices, and Google has released changes to its algorithm to serve up mobile-friendly websites first. So if you've read anything in the paper, or when I say read it on the paper, you probably read it online, but if you've seen it in the news, it's being talked about what's called mobile first. So if your website is not mobile friendly in any particular way, then you will not show up, or you'll be served up last. So if all your competition does not have a mobile site, then you're perfectly fine, because you'll be showed in alignment with them. However, if you have 2 or 3 competitors that have a mobile website, they're going to be shown first, and then you'll come after them. So take that into account. Just to give you some idea how powerful this is, there's about 1 billion smartphone users in the world, 172 million of them in the United States. That's roughly 60% of the United States has a smartphone. My statistics also say that web traffic is more than 1/3 of for some local businesses. And this is really kind of out of date, because we're starting to see, and this changed just since January, child care centers that have 70% of their traffic coming from mobile devices. So if your mobile device or your mobile website doesn't wow them and capture their interest, you're going to be out of luck. So it all starts with your web presence, and there are 3 ways you can go about it. You can do a separate mobile website that loads on a subdomain. So yourwebsite.com now it stays on there. That's your desktop version. And then m.yourwebsite.com is where your mobile website resides. And we built several of these in the last few years until Google changed the rules. The next way is you can do an integrated mobile website that's part of your website, and the entire site is optimized for both both desktops and mobile. And then you can also develop a mobile app for your business, and I'll talk about these in just a few minutes. There are pros and cons to each of these approaches. And if you have to make a choice based on your business and marketing strategies, we understand that. We do have one recommendation. What we recommend is a mobile responsive site. It's better to optimize a single site that's designed to look great on both desktop and mobile devices. So you can see right here, if you went to elitepreschool.org, you would find a great looking little desktop version of the website. And then if you look online in the mobile device, this is what you're going to see at the very top. So we're going to see their brand, we're going to see their phone number, the ability to schedule a tour. We're going to tell them about walk-in. So right in this little 2-inch box, we've given every potential parent the opportunity to call the center, schedule a tour, and made them aware of when we're willing to do walk-in tours as well. So we're recommending that mobile responsive device. Make sure it's easy to read and navigate throughout the entire site. So there's ways to do that. And essentially what you're looking at is you should be looking at a variation of text, then an image, then text, then an action item. So call us today, and then more text telling about what you do, why they should choose you. And it's more cost effective than having multiple sites to maintain. So if you have what's called a dedicated mobile site, it sounds good, but it's totally separate from your desktop. And so every time you make a change on your desktop, you have to go over and make a change on your dedicated mobile site. Again, 3 years ago, that was a common practice because that was all the technology could do at that time. But in the last year or so, the mobile responsive websites are the new thing, and there's big benefits to making that switch. So that's our recommendation. So I got a couple questions here. So Jason asks, is there a difference between mobile responsive and mobile friendly? Not really. We just, in the trade, in the online marketing trade, commonly refer to it as mobile friendly. So I can see on the screen that particular website right there is mobile friendly, and mobile responsive just refers really to the technology that we're looking at. So let's go on here. So standalone mobile websites, which I'm talking about, dedicated mobile, Google actually penalizes sites that are not fully mobile optimized, and you want to be making sure that you follow these guidelines when you're building your site. So number one, do not redirect mobile visitors to a different subdomain. Dedicated mobile websites are an outdated solution. Use a WordPress mobile responsive website for best results. Google really loves the architecture around WordPress. So if you're going to be building a new website anytime in the near future, make sure that whoever you're using is doing it in a WordPress mobile responsive theme. That's what the exact terminology is. WordPress mobile responsive theme. And then why not a mobile app? Well, a mobile app, they have to go into your phone here, and they have to find the app. And this isn't driven by search traffic like it is on the web. You have to then go into the App Store. And so more people than not are going on the web versus an App Store. Apps are really most useful for providing services to existing customers. So if you want to do push notifications out to all your parents, an app is great for that. If you want to offer specials, again, to email out to your parents or anyone else that's using your app, that's a great way to do it. But it's a totally different user experience. Apps are fragmented across platforms. So what that means is there's lots of app developers out there, and they're writing code for their particular app, but it doesn't necessarily match the code that's being written across all the different platforms. So you want to be aware of that. And so basically what I'm saying is, you know, an iPhone's different than an Android, and then even within Android, you've got different types of browsers that you upload. And if you're on a Mac, the same thing applies. So you want to make sure that you do that. You also, in apps, have to continually update it so you make sure that you have the most recent app. And then there's limited tracking because, again, the whole app is really designed more to talk to your existing customer. So that's why we don't recommend a mobile app as a substitute for a mobile optimized website. If you have the need for an app, talk to an app developer. They'll tell you what the benefits are and the reasons that you should have it. Okay, before I go on, BJ is asking, is there a mobile-friendly ranking boost? Absolutely. I will talk about that in more detail as we go through, but last fall, Google came out and said mobile first. And what they mean by mobile first is if there's 10 websites out there and 5 of them are mobile friendly and designed to operate well on a mobile device, and there's 5 that haven't got any type of mobile functionality whatsoever, the 10 that, of those 10, 5 that have the mobile will actually be showing up first. So that's what they mean by mobile first. 2 characteristics of a web page that Google considers in its ranking evaluation is called the bounce rate and the clickback. So the bounce back is when your users don't click through to another web page on your website and they exit right from where they land. Well, this is not necessarily a bad thing because, again, if they've heard about you and they're coming onto your home page and they're just looking for your phone number or your address or driving directions and you have all of that on your home page, then your bounce rate may be a little bit higher. But what you want to look at is the bounce rate on your internal pages, especially to see if the people that are showing up on your blog posts, your pages about different services and you offer, are they bouncing off right away? If they are, then you need to look into, is the copy on the website compelling? Is the layout look good, again, on a mobile device? So that's important things to look at. So the user will either leave the web page by entering a new URL or by clicking a link that will leave the site. So that's what a bounce rate is all about. The click back is slightly different. So when a user reaches your web page, then it determines that the site sucks or it's unrelated and clicks the back button on their browser to return to the initial search results. Google will trace the amount of time spent on the web page before the users click back. And that way, again, why that's important, let's say they search for childcare, Reno, Nevada, they saw the first result there, they clicked on it, went over to that page and saw that the childcare center is nearby and it's something they're interested in. They still may just write down the phone number, write down the address, whatever the case may be, and click back. So the amount of time that they actually stay on that home page is measured by Google, and the longer they stay, the better it helps with your ranking. So that's what clickbacks are all about. And again, just like bounce rate, some of it can be bad and some of it can be good, but our ideal is if you have your phone number in the upper right-hand corner of your website, if you have the phone number easily displayed, the hours of operations easily displayed, they'll stay on there long enough to get the information they need, and then they'll either bounce off or they'll click back. And so just be aware that these 2 characteristics are considered in the ranking process for your website and your mobile site as well. All right, another question. So how do I design, Julie asks, how do I design content that can be read both on a mobile phone and on a desktop? Julie, what you do is the themes that we use, for example, because they're built already with a mobile responsive built into the theme, the way the home page, for example, lays out is more in block style today. So it knows put this block over top of that block as it goes through and does that. And so as you do that, you can, basically what we do today is we design the whole home page, and then we go back and start looking on a mobile device and making sure that it looks good for the home page. then you take the next page that you've got in there, programs page, for example, and you do the same thing. So when you're building that website, where you used to just look at online and how it looked online and on your desktop, now you're looking at actually online on your smartphone. Now there are simulators that will give you what it's going to look like on an iPhone, what it's going to look like on an Android device. And our preference is we just do it right on the device so we see the real deal, not something that's simulated. Google search rankings for mobile optimized sites. So this was a question asked by BJ a little bit earlier. So we talked about how they'll bounce to another site that the user can read. So if you're still got an old site and you're having to push and pull and move around to even try to read anything, that's not a well-optimized site. It's bad for SEO, and they'll almost immediately click back to search results, leading to a low click back time, which is also bad for SEO. So Google's algorithm tracks whether you have a bad or low quality content, which will cause a drop in your ranking. There are significant penalties for websites that do not meet the guidelines for mobile optimization. So again, that's something that we study continually to figure out how to keep a website mobile optimized, because remember, mobile first. And then if you're serious about improving your organic traffic or not losing your current rankings, you should optimize the website for mobile, and if necessary, make the change. Buy a new website so that you are mobile friendly or mobile responsive. And then if you want to see those results, you can see them in Google Analytics and tracking, which was in our pay-per-click webinar. And you can find that online. So 91% of mobile usage involves some sort of social activity. So remember, that little device that you have, 91% of the time, it's by somebody that came through some kind of social activity. Maybe they were on Facebook, saw your Facebook page, clicked on, see the website, and now they're on your mobile device, on your website, because they came through Facebook. So you have to be aware of that, and 91% is a significant amount. If your business is using social marketing of any kind, there's a good chance that your incoming traffic will be accessing your site via the mobile devices. As I said, with childcare especially, what we've noticed is it used to be about 60% desktop, 40% mobile. And that was just like last summer. And then since then, just 1 year later, we're now seeing 40% desktop, 60+% coming from mobile device. And then to make sure that you're getting great conversion rates, the third factor here is you want to make sure that there's an easy way for them to share the content from the website and spread the word of mouth. So click here buttons, again, buttons that attach them back to the social platform so they can click right on, say again, Facebook. Maybe they're looking at your website. They click over to Facebook, they find their friend, and they say, hey, George, check out this childcare center. I know you've been looking for quite a while. Kent asks a question here. What about expandable content on mobile? Kent, are you asking about what we refer to as accordion content that's hidden? If you could just type that in the question box, that would help. I'll answer your question. People are more likely to take action and succumb to your calls to action while on mobile. So that's when you're going to get the best there. Desktop means people are more distracted. They have too many tabs open. And mobile means that they're just focusing on one thing, which is great user engagement on that one item. Let's see what Kent has to say over here. All right, so what Kent's asking about is there's websites out there that are starting to use little plus signs where you'll see, for example, the frequently asked question, and then you click the plus sign and it'll open up, and behind that there's content answering that question. 12 months ago, that Google did not consider that acceptable practice, and so ignored that content. But since it went to mobile first, it now is in fact including that as a good way to put content out there, and it actually is a factor in your ranking. Conversions are higher on mobile devices if you have compelling content, and of course it's optimized. And remember, optimized means a lot of different things, from the title on the page to the H1 tag of what the topic matter is all about, and then are the right number of keywords used in the content without being spammy. There's a whole process that goes in, and that's why most of the time you're much better off to hire a professional web designer who is also a marketing person. As we say here at Local Child Care Marketing, we're not a design company, we're a marketing company that does design. And we think that's incredibly significant, because we see many websites that are amazingly designed and have very poor SEO factors involved. And just recently I've actually sold 2 people brand new websites, and they'd only built their websites within the last 6 months, just because they, like I said, they looked amazing, but it was harder to fix the optimization issues than it was to just rebuild the website. So take that into account as you're going along. Mobile advertising is still underutilized. So mobile advertising is booming. It's projected to hit $42 billion in revenue in the next 3 years, so it's a big market. What's the difference, you may ask? Well, when you rank for Google, so Child Care Center San Diego, for example, the first thing you're going to see on the top of the page is you're going to see pay-per-click advertising, then you're going to see the map, and then you're going to see organic. Well, that 4-pack up at the top that says ad, a little green box around the word ad, those are advertising. The map and the organic listings below it, that is marketing. So you can control advertising, but you can only influence marketing. The big thing here is there's not a lot of companies taking advantage of the full advantage of doing this advertising, which gives you control and puts you at the top of the page. So let's see, do we have any other question? AJ asks over here, I think this question was answered earlier, but since you just came online, I'll answer it again, AJ. Yes, there's mobile responsive and mobile friendly are the same thing. If they're talking about dedicated mobile, that's again using a subdomain to run your mobile device. Good technology 3 years ago, not recommended anymore. That's where I'll put that. See if we have any other questions here. So Kim asks, what is changing with the mobile first index? Well, just the fact that Google's looking at your website, it's identifying whether or not it's mobile friendly, and if it is mobile friendly, then it will rank you above other websites that are not mobile friendly. Now keep in mind, this is based on an assumption that you got good content, well laid out on your site, you're relevant, all of those things. So Google will not show a mobile website that's poorly built. That just won't happen. But if you've got a good website that's comparable to your competitor and they're not mobile and you are mobile, you'll rank ahead of them. Are there different Google indexes for desktops and mobile? You know, I honestly don't know that question, but my marketing manager, Leonard, is hiding out in Texas right now, and I bet you he can answer that for me, and then I'll let you know, Jordan, just in a few minutes. Understand your market, your competitors, and plan accordingly. So again, know what your competition's doing, know what your market is, and then you create a plan. Just keep in mind that mobile apps may not always be a right thing for you. They cost a lot and are effective only in a handful of businesses and cases where, again, you're trying to do push notifications. You understand clearly that the main thing that's going to happen is you're going to be communicating with your existing customer base. And there's no way to search them online. They're not going to just show up. You have to go through the App Store to get access to them. So responsive design, mobile friendly, mobile responsive, those are all terms that are same. And as I just talked about briefly, mobile first. If you're doing it that way, you will rank. So you got to make your website responsive, and then it has to be fast. So if you want traffic and you want conversions, your site has to open quickly, provide the information and easy access, again, to the phone number, to a form, whatever method by which you want them to communicate with you. What's considered fast, 3.5 seconds or less is what we target every day. Now, for childcare centers, that's a great number. Sometimes if you're on an e-commerce site, it may take upwards of 4.5 to 7 seconds. For a small childcare website, even with 100 pages on it, still should be opening it in about 3.5 seconds. And then watch your analytics and watch what's working and what's not, and learn from your mistakes as you're doing this, because analytics tells you, again, how they came onto the website, where they went as a second click, where they went as a third click. Are they following the progression that you want them to do to make that purchase with you? And if they're not, what's wrong? Again, a lot of times one of the big things I see today still is that people are using a single page for all their programs offered. Not necessarily a good choice, because every page you have on your website, I say, we work hard to rank them for 3 keywords. So if you have infant care, toddler care, daycare, preschool, after school, before school, all on one page, which keywords are you going to try and rank for? Because you don't get to rank for all of those. So what we do when we build a website is we make sure that every program page has its own individual page, so that if we're doing infant, we can, infant care, baby care, and then other words that relate to infant and baby care are all in there. We talk about that in a page that's got about 450 words on it. So learn from that, look at your analytics, look at your bounce rate, look at how they're clicking through your site, and then you'll be able to make decisions and adjust your website. Just a few terms here. I'm not going to read through them all, but there's a mobile website, native mobile apps. It's software you install on your desktop so that on a mobile device you provide a great browsing experience to the user, and you gain more data about the device for marketers. QR codes. It's funny. 2 years ago, QR codes were like, everybody had to have a QR code on every single thing. They're still around, but they're not nearly as prominent as they were, say, 2 years ago. So I'm not really sure where QR codes are going. Okay, I have a couple more questions. Again, Charles, I mentioned earlier how fast the site to load, how fast on a mobile phone. Same thing, you want to be under that 3.5 seconds, and ideally on a mobile phone you want to be under 2.5 seconds if you can get your site to load that fast. And so you have to really look at the content you're putting on your home page, because that's what's loading first. So Gary, as I mentioned on analytics, you're looking for how they progressed through your site. So they went to the home page, and they went to the toddler care page, and then they went to the contact us page. And you can in fact look inside, and you can see at that time of day, on that day, they actually filled out the contact us. That's a great progression through. So we knew they had a toddler. Your page answered the questions. Your home page builds the credibility and trust factor, and they move right into making a buying decision. What you're trying to avoid is somebody that's going in a million different places, because if they're opening up the homepage, then they're into toddler care, then they're into child care, preschool, pre-K, VPK, and they're just like all over the site. Then you want to look at each of the pages and make sure that the bounce rates are as low as possible. But 55% bounce rate is actually considered fairly normal. But you want to make sure that the clickbacks and the bounces are low as you can on every single page. And why that's important, again, is Google takes that as a ranking factor. But if you got a very high bounce rate, then something on that page is not engaging the visitor to the point where they're going to take an action. So mobile display ads, they can also be known as banner ads. So you can have those banner ads put up so they show up on the top of a mobile device when they type in childcare in your city. Your ad will come to the top. Native advertising, the marketing message is embedded into a digital channel, often via mobile. So the example of that is you've got Facebook, and that's embedded, that advertising is embedded right into Facebook, and it's streaming, and that's considered a native ad. Mobile paid search, just like desktop. So these are banner ads. These are Google AdWords, the largest advertisers here are Google, Bing, and Yahoo. And then location-based services, this is back to mobile app versus a mobile responsive website. And so these allow you to track exactly where the mobile device user is at, and a variety of other things. And you can even do that on your cell phone, obviously. It just depends on how you have your settings. So let's see if there's any additional questions here today. So Brenda asked, does mobile responsiveness also work for tablets or just mobile phones? Absolutely. So when you get yourself into a WordPress mobile responsive website, it will act and look really good on tablets, on smartphones, pretty much any other device, and any screen size. So it's designed to respond to larger screens, smaller screens, and load fast. That's what we're striving to do there. Okay, you got a few other questions here. So the question about Facebook. So does boosting your Facebook ad help on your mobile? Well, absolutely, because if somebody's coming in to their web, into their Facebook page, and the Facebook ad's been boosted, and you meet the demographic for the boost, and when I say you, I'm talking about your potential customer. When they meet that demographic, they're going to see your boosted post or your boosted ad to get you out there and get them to look at whether or not they want to do a tour with you or pick up the phone and call you. Okay, Leonard asks, what about content? Content is still king. I mean, the site has to be, whether it's mobile or desktop, has to be well designed, has to provide the information that people need. At the end of the day, a well-written page on a website is going to answer, what have I got? In other words, I'm offering toddler care, for example. Why trust me or my business? And so you want to talk about, you've been in business a long time. What credentials or what proof do you have that you're a trained professional? So you're going to talk about on that page still the type of program that you're going to use, the curriculum you're going to use. And then finally, the end of the page, you're going to talk about why trust us. So that becomes the ending factor. So who are we? What have we got? why trust us, and then finally, what to do next. Those are the factors that you want to have in your content, and that includes every page, and that includes every blog post. So that's about content. I know these are a little bit off topic, but I always like to answer questions that people have. All right, let's see. Lynn, can I use images and videos on my site for mobile responsiveness? Absolutely. So built into the design is a mobile responsive capability for both the images and the videos. So done right, your images and videos are going to resize to fit well within that flow of information that you see on your mobile device. All right, so I'm going to ask for a few more questions here in just a second, but let me, if you're interested in having a one-on-one strategy session with me, or if you just have general questions about mobile devices or anything else related to online marketing, give us a call directly at 888-354-6196, 888-354-6196. Or if you go onto localchildcaremarketing.com/schedule, you'll be able to schedule an appointment with me on right on my calendar, so you can do that. If we get together, what we'll talk about on this marketing plan review is we'll look at your online visibility. We also call that your web presence. Keyword list of most important search terms. So I provided this recently on Chris Murray's site, but we'll get you that list of keywords, and we'll look at how we need to customize them for you and your location. We'll show you a ranking report to see how you're ranking currently for the top 5 keywords in the niche. Analyze online directory listings and their consistency. We'll look at your online reviews and your reputation. We'll look at your social media presence. And then we'll analyze the web conversion effectiveness. So we'll do all of that during that 1 hour that we spend together, answer any questions. There's no obligation for this review. So please reach out, give me a call, 888-354-6196, or again, localchildcaremarketing.com/schedule. All right, so I see I got a couple more questions here. Sammy, someone on their mobile phone probably doesn't have much time. Is there such a thing as too much content? No, there's not such a thing as too much content. Remember, the key is in that first 2 inches, you want your business brand, you want to give them your phone number, you want to give them your social media buttons, and some way to schedule a tour, fill out a form. Then you're going to talk for a while. After they've scrolled a while, you should be giving them that same type of information along the way. Because remember, some of us are what's called fast start. We read the first 3 sentences, first 3 paragraphs, and we need to make a decision. And then you have analytical people that are looking to read a lot more information before they make a buying decision. So you definitely want to do both of those. So no, there's not such a thing as too much content. Actually, the latest research is showing that content on a page exceeding 1,000 words is actually doing better than, say, 350, 400 words. All right, one more question from Tori. Do email newsletters need to be mobile friendly? Yes, they should be able to be responsive and resize so that you can read them. So there's technology out there to do that. You'll have to figure out how to do that. I don't have it right off the top of my head today. Or again, give me a call, ask the question, and we'll get you the information back. Any more questions? All right, if not, we're gonna wrap it up for today. Thanks, Tori and Sammy and Lynn and Brenda and Gary and Charles and Jordan and Kim and Leonard and Kent and Julie and BJ and Jason. Thanks for asking questions. Hopefully everybody learned something today. I'm sorry I had kind of a dry mouth and I may have stumbled over a few words, but great information here about why you need a mobile device, mobile friendly device. Thanks and have a great day.